Where you going with this? Who you controlling with this? You think you got some nerve? Boy, say word. Cause I'm flowing with this. I think I'm growing with this. I think you knowing with this. I'm gonna show 'em with this. Hey, you guys. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Taisha P. with Trusted Transformation Station. Here at Trusted Transformation, we believe that every day is an opportunity for evolution. And I'm so grateful you decided to stop by to listen to this podcast style episode. And today, what I wanted to talk about, man, I just read a post on Substack that honestly was another layer of conviction for me in just how I've been moving in this season. And I just felt so inspired to randomly, while I'm working as usual, come with another kind of just gem lesson style talk and let you guys know why I'm doing what I'm doing and where my head is at, and how we really are all in this together. And what I mean by that is those that are truly ready to embark on a new path, and you really begin to see the inspiration and the motivation. But not only that, once you get that, you apply it and make that turn into discipline. Man, the people are out here doing the work, and your life will only transform when you commit to doing the work. And doing the work is layered, it's multifaceted, but the results of what you begin to see shift in your life are profound. So, in terms of what I saw online, just to summarize it, because I'm not the creator, so I don't want to like regurgitate what they said. But essentially, what I gathered from it was when we are in this season of not doing the work, when we're looking at everyone and everybody else and we're pointing the finger and we're blaming and we're angry with our circumstances and we lack motivation and we're tired, we're rude, we're disrespectful, we're angry, we're hurt, we're burdened, we're depressed, we're anxious, we're all of these things that are of a negative vibration. So many times we're waiting for some magical thing to happen or for some person to pull us out of our misery. And that is the most damaging thing you can do, because you basically reject your assignment as a divine creator in whatever way that looks like for you, and you put your destiny in someone else's hands. And when you're a true creator, and I'm not just talking about artwork or music, but I'm talking about in the sense of understanding that where your life is right now is partially a sum of your choices. And I only say partially because there, of course, are things that happen that are out of our control. But much of what we have experienced in life does come from what we can control. You begin to realize that putting the blame on other people not only is pointless, it makes you weak, it makes you docile, it makes you subject to experiencing what the world has to offer you instead of you letting the world experience who you are and your true essence and your frequency, your natural energy. When we put ourselves in position of saying, you know, I'll wait till later to build that business. I'll wait till later to go sit in that therapy chair. I'll wait till later to start going to the gym. I'll wait till later to start eating better. I'll wait till later to start working on my dreams. You are rejecting every opportunity, route, and avenue that you can utilize to not only improve your own life, but the lives of others around you, and that will have the opportunity to experience you. We don't realize that the world is more interconnected than we think, and that we have the same power running through all of our veins. And it's just that some of us have the ability to recognize it and utilize it, whether that be for good or evil, because I'm going to touch on that as well. But essentially, just harness what we have available to us to propel our lives. Right now, as I record this, we're in the beginning stages of the Diddy trial. And this is why I said I'll touch on the negative side. And I look and I see everybody talking about it, everybody having their opinions, everybody having their just viewpoint of everything that's going on with that. And one thing that I've taken away from this situation that is on a bigger collective scale than just looking at Diddy and everybody involved with that is when people that aren't spiritually aligned but still have the understanding of the power that they possess utilize that power. That is the result. We have people that abuse their co-creation energy and make it be that they become a god in their own world and will literally treat others like scum. And people will also that are around them believe that others deserve said treatment because this person has been propped up to such a position that they're above reproach, they're above correction, they're above consequence. And I sit here and I think about us as people that have these big lofty dreams, and we say to ourselves, hey, I want to do this great work for my company, or I want to start a foundation for underprivileged youth, or I want to give out food to the homeless. And we're afraid to take one step in that direction. Yet there are people that are doing wrong boldly and proudly and getting the results and fruits thereof. I mean, some of it in the case of the Diddy is positive until it becomes negative, like what he's experiencing right now. But overall, we see that people have a choice. And people are making decisions. People are making decisions. And the decisions, they don't care how it affects anybody else. They don't care if it, I don't even know, like they don't care who they trample on. It's about them. It's about I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me. And the people that usually want to really do good, want to really elevate, want to help others out, want to make the world a better place and not just talk about it, but really do it. We're the ones sitting in the corner, twiddling our thumbs and waiting for somebody to pull us out of our misery and pull us out of our fearfulness and our shyness and our confusion and our mistrust. And I'm like, how can we mistrust this beautiful vision that has been implanted within us divinely, and allow others that have no positive true intention for what they're doing be able to run laps around us. And the article I read didn't touch, sorry about that. The article I read didn't touch on that in and of itself, in terms of the Diddy situation. But as I'm talking and thinking it through, I'm like, it's amazing to me how the most beautiful souls are many times the most afraid to really launch boldly and proudly, to speak with authority, to give themselves the power up, if you will, the boost, the mental encouragement to really go forward. And then not only just our own self-encouragement, but the discipline and consistency to follow through. Because as what was talked about, it wasn't like things that happened around Diddy, he did it with one person. This is something that was ongoing with multiple people. And everybody stood by. And everybody received their portion. And this is something that was going on for a while. So it just rattles my mind how, for instance, myself, I sit here and I think about how I really have had on my heart these messages, and not this message in particular. Obviously, we flow with whatever season that we're in. But these positive messages that I've wanted to share with others through whatever forum fit best for God to get the glory and for me to tell my story. And I sit here and I think about how these are the people that we're allowing to push narratives when we can be creating our own narratives at this point. And how much I've just sat back and let the world think I have nothing to say, and let the world think that my voice isn't important. And in this season, I truly have understood and downloaded within myself that I may not be a prophet or a wise woman or a voice worth listening to my immediate circle and family. But that doesn't mean I should be quiet. That doesn't mean I should just stay in the background. That doesn't mean I should just let everything that God is imparting into me on a daily basis not be, distributed, not be shared. There's a reason I receive these messages. There's a reason I have my life experiences and that I'm called to share the wise truths that have been gathered from it. There's a reason why you, the listener, have been interested in whatever you want to do, or that you even clicked on this video to hear what I have to say, because you know there is something deep down within you that you haven't been sharing, you haven't been doing, you haven't been diligent in, that is going to change the world. And even if changing the world means changing one person, because I sit here and look at, for instance, the coaches. Maybe it was that one person in LeBron James' life. I just had a tongue twister moment, y'all gonna hear that. I'm embracing it at this point. Every episode, just count it at this point. But the LeBron James of the world, people like that, and I'm using him as just an extreme example, but there's many others, and it doesn't have to be on such a large scale. There are people that are truly doing what they have to do to change lives. even if that means just touching one person, that you get this domino effect. A divine download landed on me the other day. Man, I've really been diligent in trying to do better with my life and trying to really grow. And a YouTuber I watched recently, and I've been getting into him. He is so good. Oh my gosh. Like his breakdowns and just his mindset. I'm like, this is mindset on a new level. And it really told me, I got to level up. But he talked about how he did a 3-day water fast and how he regularly fasts. He's done straight, dry fasting, no food, no water, no nothing. He's done water fasting. He's done them for different amounts of times. He's done them kind of on like a scheduled basis, in the sense of every month or every few months he'll do a certain amount of time where this time is reserved to set an intention for whatever it is that he's trying to accomplish, and fasting will be a part of it. And I never intentionally fasted before. I've definitely just not eaten, whether that be because I just didn't have an appetite or I was sick or any other random reason. But I was called after listening to the video. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a 24-hour fast, ease my way into it, because 3 days, that's a little bit of a jump for a person that's never did this before. So I'm going to get my feet wet and just do a 24-hour fast. Man, when I tell you, there were so many signs and synchronicities that God was just dropping on me from the littlest thing. Like, I was just blown away. I had a beautiful conversation out of nowhere with my sister. She shared some information with me that I didn't even expect in any way, shape, or form. Not that me and my sister don't, communicate. I talk to her pretty often, but it was just like what she talked about with me that day. I was like, this couldn't be anything but God. And I was just so grateful for the conversation, because it was just a confirmation for me. Taking this fast and this beautiful conversation. I had some other things that happened to me that I was just like, wow. But one of the biggest things that I took in this 1-day fast, it implanted in my mind, and I was washing my hands, and I just heard in the spirit realm, the pebble has shifted. And I'm like, the pebble has shifted. The pebble has shifted. It only takes for one piece of rock to move too much to the left or right for an avalanche. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, it only takes one pebble to move too much to the left or right to cause an avalanche. And I said, what does this mean? And I looked deeper into this message that was just intuitively downloaded. And what I got from it was, it only takes a small shift to create an overflow of change. So when you decide to take 24 hours to fast and pray and commune with God, read your Bible, when you decide to start working out, even if that starts with just walking around your block for an hour, or your neighborhood rather, for an hour, even if you decide to say, you know what, I'm going to make sure that no matter what I eat, I'm not even getting into the food yet, the food content yet. Just, I'm going to always have a glass of water. Because eventually there's going to be a conviction in the spirit. And you're going to start to naturally want different based off that one move. And I literally look back in my life earlier this year to now, and I'm like, the one thing that changed me right now that I could directly say has gotten me to this point of where now I'm creating consistently, and now I want to start eating better, and I'm even telling my mom about certain things. Me and her both recently started taking digestive enzymes and probiotics and talking about how it's changing our bodies, and me consistently drinking water again, and me reading my Bible and journaling regularly again. I honestly attribute it to starting with working out. I've always been a lover of working out. I have pictures of me as a little girl. I remember this one picture with me and my brother. It's so funny. We're standing up in front of our old church that we grew up like babies in. And we're both we're both flexing our muscles. Like, we're just standing there like, yeah, like posing like we're bodybuilders, but we just some little kids. Although I had the muscles though. I ain't gonna flex. I ain't gonna flex that I was flexing. I had the muscles though. I ain't gonna cap. But yes, we're standing in front of there and I'm flexing my muscles. It's so funny. And I'm just sitting there thinking back of all these times where I used to be watching Billy Blanks on demand as a little girl. Like a little girl. And doing Tai Bo and all this types of stuff. And I never was like a sports kid. Although I'm not gonna lie, when we had anything in gym, I was super competitive. I feel like I should have gotten into sports because I know I would have been a beast. Basketball, whatever else, volleyball, like any of those types of sports where you really got to be competitive. I was going in when I was a kid and just a young adult. I mean, well, teen, I should say, not a young adult. And now I sit here and I look at how much I fell off from just wanting that movement, that physical movement, that exertion. Every now and again, and when I say every now and again, I look back over my adolescent to adulthood years, I would be super dedicated and disciplined, going to the gym, working out, doing yoga, walking, and then I'll fall off. Dedicated, fall off. Dedicated, fall off. And I'm like, this is not going to change my life moving like this in a way that it's consistent. You need to take it up a notch. You need to get yourself together. And I really just started. I was like, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to just do walks. Walk around the neighborhood, at least an hour. Come back home, sit. Then I reminded myself, wait, I have an elliptical bike. And it was sitting in the closet collecting dust. I started doing my elliptical bike. And just challenging myself to keep upping the resistance so I could just build my body and get stronger. And I'm seeing the results slowly but surely of what that discipline really is gonna look like once I really just continue and not fall off like I usually do once I reach these goals, because I realize now it's not about reaching a goal. It's about maintaining a lifestyle. And as a creative, oh, I'm going to bring it back home. We have to commit to the lifestyle. As an evolving soul, we have to commit to the lifestyle. As a person that says this is who you want to be, we have to commit to the lifestyle, and we cannot let what this world is doing hold us back from showing up as our rightful selves as creators, to really impart our imprint into the world, because we all have power, and you have the power within you to change your life in a dramatic, drastic, monumental, outstanding, phenomenal, insane way. And it is time that the people with good, positive intention, that doesn't want to just cultivate power for the sake of having it all to themselves, but wants to use it to positively impact the lives of others and pour into their communities and really have a domino effect as far as where they can just impact lives and change the environment, change everything that we have going on in this world that may make you just not even want to be a part of it. But if you can do your part to make it just a little bit better, utilize your power to do that, because it lives within you. Utilize your power to create the change you want to see. We are not helpless. We are not hopeless. We are not just here by happenstance. We are not given authority, power, and dominion over our own bodies through free will just to accept what people have to offer and take that as our portion. Too many of us are playing the passenger in our own lives. And it is time to get in the driver's seat. And it is time to recognize that if you have something within you that you know has been God ordained, to speak up and speak out. And nobody's saying you have to turn into an IG influencer tomorrow. You have to post every single day if you don't feel called to. But if you know that you have a message and you know that you have a purpose, God will give you the plan, as long as you just meet him halfway and trust in being guided on the right path. The little nudges that you've been feeling, it's time to stop ignoring them. The nudges that you've been getting for years are tired of trying to reach you, and you don't want to pick up the call. Answer the call. Because when it gets declined, you'll know, you'll feel it, and most importantly, you'll regret it. And you'll look up and see time has flown by and you haven't made any moves. You haven't changed your life circumstances. The world is getting worse, and you will feel helpless and hopeless because you didn't even use your own strength, power, and simple things like courage to just do what you could. Stop worrying about day 100 when you haven't gotten to day 1 yet. And that's me speaking to myself. And yes, technically, I can say I'm at day whatever amount because I said I've started Trust Transformation 5 years ago. But I haven't been consistent. I haven't been dedicated. And God is saying in this season, You have to nurture your 1, your 2, your 3 before you get to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. We all want the big numbers and the big attention, the big everything. But we don't even know how to nurture our cultivation season. And that's not even just in terms of social media growth. That's with anything. That's with our finances. That's with how we look at food and eating better, working out, even starting a business, because you don't have to have a social media business. Anything that you're trying to do, remember there's a day one. Honor your day one. But still take action, because you don't know where you're being divinely led. And it's time that the true, pure souls that know that they have a mission to take up space for our Father's business, for God's business, to truly take over, and for us to get as far away as we can from anything that is worldly, that is corrupting the minds of our people. And even if you influence one, that's good enough, because we have the power to have a domino effect. The pebble has shifted. Are you going to get stuck in the cave, or are you going to break free? The choice is yours. It's your girl Taisha P signing out. Later, y'all.